It started small, just a few little fines, some phony violation notices, and a handful of empty threats that looked like they came straight out of a printer at the dollar store. Then one sunny afternoon, things got real. A white van rolled up, and out stepped a bunch of men flashing shiny badges like they were starring in a budget cop show. They said I'd violated HOA regulations, and get this, that I was under arrest. Cute, right? Because what they didn't know was that I'm a U.S. Marshal. Yeah, they picked the wrong guy to play make-believe law enforcement with. But before I tell you how that showdown went down, let me rewind. See, it all began with Patricia Holloway, the HOA president. She ran Silverwood Hills like a discount dictator with a clipboard. If her rule book didn't cover something, she just made one up. The first time I met her, I knew in my gut this woman was bad news wrapped in pearls. It started innocently enough, a crisp envelope in fake gold foil stamped with the Silverwood Hills logo. Inside, open quote, "Dear homeowner, you must register your property with Silverwood Hills HOA," close quote. I laughed so hard I nearly choked on my. I bought that house specifically because it sat outside HOA jurisdiction. Then I flipped the page. Boom, $300 fine for failure to maintain property aesthetics. So I stepped outside, looked at my clean lawn, spotless driveway, and my truck shining like a showroom ad. Then I tossed that letter straight into the trash. But Patricia didn't stop. More letters came, more fines. My mailbox looked like a collection bin for nonsense. And that's when she showed up, in person, clipboard in hand, gold watch flashing, that fake sweet smile that could curdle milk. Little did she know that was the moment she started a war she couldn't win. Before we go any further, comment where in the world you're watching from, and make sure to subscribe Silent Divide Tales because tomorrow's story is one you don't want to miss. Patricia stood in my driveway like she owned the neighborhood. Clipboard clutched, gold watch glinting, that smug grin plastered across her face. "Oh, good," she purred. "I was hoping to catch you. Something I can help you with?" I leaned against my truck, keeping it casual. She pulled out a paper. "Just a friendly reminder, you still have outstanding violations." I didn't blink. "I'm not part of your HOA." Her smile didn't even flinch. "Silverwood Hills has expectations for its surroundings. Everyone contributes." I gave a humorless laugh. "Lady, I don't answer to you. Stop stuffing my mailbox with lies." Her jaw twitched. The clipboard trembled before she forced that plastic sweetness back on her face. "You wouldn't want complications." Complications? From her? Cute. I stepped closer, dropped my voice. "One more fake notice and I'll file for harassment. You can play HOA queen all you want, but you've got zero authority here." She blinked, then turned sharply on her heels, strutting off like she'd just won something. Spoiler alert, she hadn't. I figured that was the end of it. But you know what happens when people like Patricia get embarrassed? They don't back off. They double down. A week later, the whispers started. Neighbors claiming there was a warrant out for my arrest. Yeah, apparently the HOA decided to go full FBI on me. That's when I realized Patricia wasn't just power hungry. She was running a full-on fraud operation. Then came Friday morning. Quiet, too quiet. The rumble of a van stopped at the edge of my driveway. 4 men stepped out wearing cheap uniforms and shiny badges that screamed party store special. Their vests literally said HOA cop. Can you believe that? HOA cops. I stood on the porch, coffee in hand, ring cam recording every second. They fanned out like they were about to raid a drug cartel. The tall one barked, "Are you the homeowner of 211 Ridgeview?" I didn't move. Who wants to know? That's when things took a turn that even Patricia didn't see coming. The tall guy puffed his chest. "We're with the Silverwood Hills HOA enforcement team. You're in violation of multiple community codes, and there's an active warrant for your arrest." My eyebrow went up. "A warrant?" The shorter man beside him nodded nervously, gripping his clipboard like a toddler holding a teddy bear. "You've ignored too many citations, sir. We're authorized to take you in for noncompliance." I took a slow sip of my coffee. Let the steam rise between us. "Is that so?" "Yes, sir," the tall one said, trying to sound official. "Failure to comply will result in forced detainment." I smiled, the kind of smile that says you're about to regret this conversation. "Then let's see the paperwork." They froze. All 4 of them looked at each other like someone had just unplugged their brain. "You already received the final notice," the tall one stammered. Not enough, I said calmly. You're claiming legal arrest authority. That requires a judge's signature and county approval. The third guy panicked. The HOA board issued it themselves. I almost choked laughing. Since when does an HOA issue arrest warrants? Can you believe that? They really thought they were the law. Sir, don't make this harder than it has to be, the tall one snapped. I took one step closer, voice low and controlled. You boys have no idea what you've walked into. Then I reached into my jacket, pulled out my badge, the real one. United States Marshal Service. The color drained from their faces. The tall guy stepped back like I'd just pulled a live grenade. Clipboard boy started shaking. You're a marshal? One whispered. Which means, I said flatly, pretending to be law enforcement in front of me. That's federal impersonation. Minimum 5 years. Maybe more if fraud's involved. The one on the left muttered, Patricia didn't say nothing about that. My eyebrow rose. Patricia sent you? Their silence told me everything. Drop your fake badges. Now. One by one, they tossed them on the ground like kids caught stealing candy. That's when I realized this wasn't just harassment. It was a full-blown criminal operation, and I was about to bring it all down. The fake cops backed away fast, mumbling apologies like kids caught cheating on a test. Not so fast, I said, snapping a photo of their faces, their plates, and those shiny dollar store badges. They scrambled into their van and peeled out, tires screeching down the street. As the sound faded, I stood there with my badge still out and my coffee going cold. They'd crossed the line. Harassment was one thing, but sending fake cops to arrest me? That was criminal. So I made a call. My buddy at the county sheriff's office ran their info, and what came back made my stomach turn. None of them were licensed security. Not ex-police either. Just actors from a local rent-a-cop scheme Patricia Holloway had paid under the table. That's when I decided to set the trap. She wanted to play judge and cop? I'd let her dig her own grave, in front of an audience. Next Friday, Patricia scheduled what she called a formal HOA hearing at the community center. Not a courthouse, not a legal office, just a rented hall with folding tables and fake authority. I showed up early, calm, camera rolling. At the front sat Patricia, perfect curls, pearl necklace, and that smug queen of the cul-de-sac grin. Beside her, those same 4 fake officers. Well, well, she said, tapping her pen. Glad you decided to cooperate. Makes things smoother when people don't resist. I smirked. You run this circus? I run Silverwood Hills, she bragged. You've racked up thousands in fines and obstructed HOA authority. The board has decided you'll be remanded for further action. Remanded? Cute word. Before her so-called officers could move, I leaned back and said, Patricia, before you try that, let's invite a few real officers. The double doors burst open. 6 county deputies marched in, followed by a federal agent flashing a badge of his own. Patricia Holloway, he announced. You're under arrest for fraud, impersonation of law enforcement, extortion, and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Her gavel hit the table. Her face drained white. This is a misunderstanding. The deputies cuffed her on the spot while her fake cops panicked. One ran for the door. Didn't make it 2 steps. Within hours, the news spread like wildfire. HOA president arrested in Silverwood sting. Every homeowner she scammed came forward. The board dissolved. Money was returned. And Patricia, facing 5 federal charges, up to 15 years behind bars. So tell me, what do you think, folks? Should Patricia face even more time for what she pulled? Drop your thoughts below, and if you love seeing karma served hot, make sure to subscribe, because on Silent Divide Tales, justice always gets the last word.